Welcome, everybody. This is where we like to put our thumb on the pulse and talk about game and industry news that gets our blood pumping. Let's jump into it. On Thumb on the Pulse lately, we've been starting with console news to start with, jumping into more game-specific news, and then kind of fun facts throughout the industry. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of keep that theme running. Start talking about this morning's news that came out, what was it, at like 10 o'clock my time? Nintendo Direct Indie Game Showcase happened this morning, or IndieWorld Showcase rather. That aired this morning. They had a lot of exciting titles that they talked about. It was the Indie Showcase, which I didn't realize until this morning. So there was a lot of obviously independent developers talking about the games that they are coming out with on Switch. Not only games that they're coming out with on Switch, but some games that had already been out on PC, and now we're going to be moving over to the Switch platform. So that was pretty exciting. There were a couple announcements that really caught my eye today. One we'll talk about a little bit later, but one that I can definitely mention right now, and that's super exciting development for Nintendo and for some other companies, especially this independent developer, Subnautica, my friends. Subnautica is now going to be available on Switch next year, 2021. Not only Subnautica the First is going to be available, but also Subnautica Below Zero. I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to take this game with me and play. Halo Infinite, unfortunately, has been pushed back. I'm sure by now some of you guys have heard about it. I'm sorry I didn't report on it last week, but it literally, that news broke the morning of the news, so I wait to see if there was a little bit more development on the story before we reported on it. Unfortunately, there's not much more information out there other than the fact that they just want to make sure that they put out a great game. They don't want to have to worry about the stress of an early release date. They want to make sure everything's up to par, including all the multiplayer stuff that they're working on that'll be free to all gamers that want to try to play it. So basically the idea was just for the betterment of the game, they're pushing that back until 2021. No definitive month for that, but that does kind of put Xbox into a corner in the fact that when they release their new console this year, they're not going to have a flagship title. They were really banking on Halo Infinite this year and making sure that that was going to be the launch title with the console, but now we kind of have to wait and see. I'm hoping for Fable, but maybe not. We'll have to see what comes out with the system. Talking about consoles specifically, there was leaked information about the Xbox Series X. News leaked that the release date for the console is going to be November 6th. There's nothing definitive on that, but they have officially let loose that November will be the month that it comes out. So we know the Xbox Series X is going to be coming out in November. We just don't know when yet. The rumor is November 6th, so that'd be super exciting if it was at the beginning of the month. And that's what it said on the packaging. The price tag on the box was $5.99, theoretically, for the Xbox Series X, so we'll see what happens with that. No flagship title, but speculated information for the Xbox Series X. We'll see what happens, guys. I'm hoping for that early release because then that's that much sooner I get my hands on it. Moving right along, Rocket League is moving to a free-to-play system. Since Epic owns Psyonix, they are now going to be exclusively offering Rocket League through the Epic Store and then, of course, on console stores. It won't be available, unfortunately, anymore through Steam, but with the free-to-play update, they are also going to be upgrading the cross-platform play, calling this their cross-platform progression. Basically, a lot of us have always complained that, yes, Rocket League is cross-platform, but you have to have a different account on each platform. I have a Microsoft account right now, I have a Sony account right now, and I have a Steam account right now. Once you sign into the Epic Game Store after this update happens, you're going to be prompted if you already possess Rocket League on PC or you're opening it for the first time on one of your consoles, you'll be prompted to sign into your Epic Games account from Rocket League. You'll have to choose your primary platform, and essentially what that means is just whatever account you played the most on, you've unlocked the most on, you've spent the most time on, and you feel like you want that to be your flagship account, for lack of a better phrase. Once you choose that primary platform, that will be your main account, and then everything from all of your other accounts should be, after you've linked them to the Epic Store, brought into one area. So you shouldn't have to worry about losing any of the items that you've already paid for or anything like that. The only downside is, even though you'll still have all the items you paid for, there will still be console exclusivity on some of the downloadable content, some of the rare customizations like the wheels and the skins and things like that. So you will see that on Xbox you'll be able to play with certain skins that you won't be able to play once you switch over to the Switch, to the PS4, PS5, any other console, or PC for that matter. So my recommendation, spend all your credits now. Just make sure you don't spend it on anything exclusive. Otherwise, you'll have to worry about what console you're on. We're going to be talking about Apex, as we talked about earlier in the stream, and it's in the title because we're going to be playing this later with Morbid Corpsey. Apex Season 6 launched today. I have it downloaded and installed and ready to rock and roll, literally just waiting to get through the news and Morbid to start streaming. So much is changing with the game, which is super exciting. Not only did they add to the gameplay, they also fixed some glitches and some bugs with some of the characters and with the game, all the normal stuff that comes with an update or a patch, but this time we're also getting that full season upgrade as well. Season 6 comes with Rampart, who's the new character. She's a 21-year-old engineer, basically. She brings with her an entirely new crafting system. The crafting's accessed via a replicator that's found on the map. You can use extracted materials from crates. You get to pick up materials along the way. Basically, what you'll do is you'll utilize those to create and build hop-ups, build ammo, build health kits, and other weapons. Some of the items will always be available to craft. Other items will change either daily or weekly, so that'll be a fun implementation to the game. We also have the launch site now instead of the drill site, which was a spot in the map before. It's the drill site's going to be replaced by the launch site. We're going to have 2 new geysers on the map as well as new barrier protection walls. All of the armor in the game now, you're going to start with level 0, I believe, Evo armor, and then all of the armor in the game now is going to be Evolve armor. So basically, when you're taking shots, you'll be able to upgrade your armor as you go. Except for the gold one, as far as I understand. The gold one is the only one that won't be evolved. It'll just be gold, or you can use your other armor and upgrade that to red. The train has not only been stopped now, but it's been completely dismantled. Now the players will be able to find pieces of it spread all over the tracks. I'm assuming use it to build stuff. Another fun aspect to the game that they'll be adding in Season 6 is holo sprays. Basically what they're going to be is new emote type opportunities for you to express yourself in the game, but with holograms that you can set down. We'll find out later today how it's unlocked, but basically it's like a calling card that you can set down. It's a fun way to kind of mock your enemies once you just killed them or something like that. We'll see how often we use them. Another thing that I want to mention, just because our teammate Morbid Corpsey loves to play this character, Bloodhound has been buffed to be a little bit more on par with other characters like, Pathfinder, and other types of trackers like that. So it'll be fun to see how he manages with Bloodhound now that we've had that buff. All of this information is going to be available on EA's website. We'll definitely be linking down below the patch notes so you guys can read more into whatever you liked about the Season 6 upgrade. But let me tell you, I am thrilled and I cannot wait to play Season 6 with all of my friends. So feel free to join us on Community Tuesdays or DLC Thursdays, or really reach out to me anytime you want to play. I love playing with you guys. Aww. We have big news in game stores today. Not only did we talk about Epic owning Psyonix and now changing the way that Rocket League is played, but also EA Access and Origin Access have combined now into one EA Play subscription service. What that's going to do is give obviously players a bigger array of titles when subscribing to just one service as opposed to having to subscribe to 2 different services. There's going to be a premium and then obviously a base service. The base service is going to stay the same price, which is going to be $4.99 a month or $29.90 a year. That's the one I just signed up for to get free NHL 20. The premium service for both of them, which will give you early access to games and things like that, will be $14.99 a month or $99.99 a year. That's a huge gap between the yearly services, so I'll have to look into more of what the difference is between the base and the premium services. We'll probably report a little bit more on that next week. From $30 a year to $100 a year, that's a huge price gap. We'll have to see what that's all about. This is where we're going to just move on to a little bit more rapid fire. We are going to talk about Fall Guys, though. Fall Guys has been a huge hit this summer, as we talked about last week. A lot of the fun in this game is creating the look of your Fall Guys character, creating the skin that you want to set you apart from everybody else. What's going to be really fun is that Fall Guys has added the Scouts uniform, but also there's companies out there like G Fuel, like Konami in this picture, that want to get involved in the themed outfit game. So I don't doubt we'll start seeing some really cool themed skins coming out for Fall Guys over the next coming months. This one was super cute. That one was super cute, so I had to show that one off. Minecraft's Dungeons DLC is going to get an update. It's called Creeping Winter. It's going to be frost themed, featuring new missions and new enemies. We'll see a bunch of new stuff like tools. Keep a lookout for that if you're a big Minecraft Dungeons fan. We're talking about a little bit of Nintendo news coming back to Nintendo. A few things that we'll touch on quickly. Pikmin 3 Deluxe for Switch is going to be coming out October 30th, 2020. Untitled Goose Game news. Let's just start there. For the Switch, I think it's going to be on all the consoles, but specifically when they announced it today on the Nintendo Direct, Untitled Goose Game is going to be getting a 2-person multiplayer mode that'll be free for anybody who owns the game. So that'll definitely be one I'm getting for my Switch. We do have some Final Fantasy news. Final Fantasy VII HD, not the newest remake edition, but Final Fantasy VII is going to be available on Xbox. It's going to be something that you can get on Xbox Game Pass as of August 13th. Speaking of August 13th, which was a few days ago, we have even more news. Dead by Daylight is now cross-platform. You can play with all of your friends regardless of what console or system you're using. That was as of August 13th too. Can't tell you how excited I am about that one. The lack of cross-platform options with Dead by Daylight was kind of a point of frustration for me because where I was playing it on Xbox Game Pass through Microsoft Windows 10, I wasn't able to play on my PC with other PC players. So that was super frustrating. So excited that they announced and launched the cross-platform on August 13th for Dead by Daylight. Last of Us 2 had a big announcement this week. They have launched 2 fun new things in an update. One is the grounded difficulty, which basically, what do they say? It eliminates a lot of the loot that you can pick up. It completely eliminates being able to hear enemies through walls and a lot of other things in the game to try to make it a lot more difficult. Very similar to the grounded difficulty, I believe, in the first Last of Us. Also, they added the permadeath opportunity. So you could choose any difficulty you want in the game, but turn on the permadeath option to where you only have 1 life in the game and you just have to survive. So let's see if I can even hack the first level in one of those options, but we'll definitely have to give it a shot on stream someday and see if we can hack it. That, believe it or not, was on August 13th as well. So another fun announcement for that day. And lastly, we're going to touch base on one that I'm super, super excited about, and that's more Tony Hawk Pro Skater news. First and foremost, they did announce and have, I think it might have been last week, I can't remember if we talked about it, but they are giving the first level away with a 2-minute session run when you pre-order the game. Regardless of whether you pre-order it with PC, PS4, Xbox, or Switch, I believe, you get that first round available to you. I've heard nothing but fantastic things. I've seen clips with side-by-side comparisons to the first game to the new one. It looks amazing. Some changes they've made to the game in order to kind of really land on that sweet spot in between outdated and updated. One of the things is they made the game a little bit faster. All the characters will be moving a little bit quicker, but to kind of compensate and add to the realism, they did shorten the height of a lot of the jumps that you're allowed to make. Now, obviously, part of the fun is doing those super elaborate jumps and super elaborate tricks, which from the gameplay that I've seen so far looks still completely possible. It just looks so much more real. It's very, very slight, the noticeability on the shorter jumps and shorter ollies and things like that. Also, a reason for that is because they wanted to kind of lean Tony Hawk into the esports world. Maybe see if we can't get some really serious Tony Hawk Skater XL type competitions going on. That'll be something interesting to see. My favorite news coming out about Tony Hawk Pro Skater, though, is the announcement that Officer Dick will be returning, and he has a new face, folks, and that's the face of Senor Jack Black. That's right, guys. Jack Black will be coming into the Tony Hawk Pro Skater world as Officer Dick. If you've played any of the games before, you know full well how big of a dick Officer Dick can be, and the fact that traditionally you've been able to unlock Officer Dick and utilize him as a playable character. So does that mean we get to play as Jack Black now in Tony Hawk? I can't wait to find out. No word on whether we're going to see a reappearance of Ollie the Bum or not, but hey, that might be for another news report. Anyways, that was Thumb on the Pulse for the day, guys. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Thank you so much for being here. My name's thumbspazm, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.